Hello everyone, especially to students. Hi students! I decided to share some tips with you that I think would be useful for you when you send your class requirements to your professors or to instructors, and that would also be helpful to lessen or reduce the stress in their lives, because adjusting to the online system of learning delivery has presented some challenges also for your faculty. So I'm going to be sharing with you maybe 3 or 4 tips to make everyone's lives a little bit easier. So let me start with this slide here that you can see. I'm actually going to share with you screenshots only of some important things about sending class requirements through email. Okay, so the first one that I'm going to point out is on how to write proper subject lines, okay? Proper subjects of your email. So for example, for this student, on top of my email list from Aaron, he had done a good job of writing the course number and his name and his major and the document that he sent, okay? So this is for quiz number 2. He's an ento major and his name is Aaron, and he is enrolled in Agric 27. This would allow your instructor, in this case me, to know immediately that Aaron had submitted his quiz, okay? His answer to the quiz. Because, by the way, for this instance, I did not use the Google Forms for the quiz because some students had trouble using the Google Forms for quizzes. Okay, so that's the first thing, doing a good subject line. So the course number, your name, your major, so that you can be placed in the proper section, and then what document you are sending. However, there are some issues here because Aaron had sent a picture, okay, but the picture is not properly named or renamed. So it's just a generic picture or a generic file name for the picture. Another issue is that Aaron actually sent 2 pages of the answers to a quiz, but he sent each page on separate emails. Perhaps the best way to do that is to attach all the pages, okay, in one email only. So send all your pages or your pictures or documents in one email only. That is, if it's allowed in terms of size by Google. In this case, we're using Google or Gmail. Okay, so things to improve. The same case for Mabel. She did a good job of writing in the subject line. Okay, a very good system of writing the subject line, but again, generic names of the attachments. But there are also students, okay, and I have protected them by hiding their names, who don't write anything on the subject line, okay? And that is an issue because your instructors may not know where to sort your submitted requirements, okay? In what section folder it will go, and in what particular requirement it will go, okay? So, and basically your instructors or professors handle many subjects, they handle many students, and maybe most of them do not have the ability to memorize your names and your placement in subjects or sections immediately. So it's very important to follow what Aaron and Mabel had done for the subject line. The good thing, however, is for the attachments, okay, the student did a good job of renaming the pictures by putting their Agric 27 something something. So when these files are downloaded by the instructor, in this case me, it would be the file name and to which folder these particular requirements would be sorted out, okay? The same case for Riza, who did a good job doing the subject line, but had maintained the generics of the photos that she sent. Now, another issue is this. In the subject line, do not write your message to your professor or your instructor, okay? Especially when you have to explain why you have sent your class requirement really late. Do not place your message in the subject line. Put your message in the message box. And if you see here the orange box, that is actually the name, okay, of the student. And immediately after that, okay, that should be the space where you put your message to your professor. In the subject line, please do what was done as pointed out earlier. Write your course number and your name and your section or your major and what document you're sending, so that your professor would immediately know what is your concern or what is the subject of the email about. Am I making that clear? And again, in here, this particular student did not rename the pictures that he sent. Okay, so that is something that you could actually do very easily. Okay, in this case, okay, Mr. Piape had written a very good file name for the photos that he sent, although he had some typo errors there, but that's very minimal. So the subject and his name and his major and the document that he is sending, even including a guide for the professor on what can be found in this particular page, although page 1 was downloaded twice, but that's all right. But the point is that sorting of your submitted documents would be easier by your professors or instructors if you rename your files properly, or if you name your files properly. Okay, now I'm just going to show you another screenshot of the downloads to emphasize that only a few students remember this basic concept or this basic instruction that you name your files properly before sending them to your instructors. It's like 1/3 or 1/4 of the class remembers to do that, and I think for most of your instructors, you have been given proper instructions and reminders, and all you have to do is hopefully to follow them. Okay, I'm emphasizing to you again what is the proper way to name your file, especially pictures. Because if it's a Word file, I think you would know how to write some kind of file names for your Word files or your PDF files. But for your pictures, you really have to do proper rename. Okay, now, so I'm gonna show you how to rename pictures or photos. In here, I'm showing you another screenshot of pictures. Now, if you're using a laptop, okay, when you click on the home button, this is what you see. So you will see here, okay, the function that is rename. And if you don't see that, then you can actually do a right click, and then there will be the option for you to do renaming. Please excuse my dog. And when you click on rename, okay, if you have chosen this particular highlighted picture, when you click on rename, this is what would happen, okay? So now it's going to be highlighted in blue, and you can type there the proper file name of the picture that you will send to your instructor or professor as your class requirement. It would be much clearer than just a generic number of your photo. Now, if you don't have a laptop and you're using a smartphone, then this is something that you can also do easily. So I'm showing you a screenshot of some of my photos in the grid format. So what you do is go to the file manager of your Android phone or your whatever smartphone you have. You go to the file manager and choose photos, okay? For my phone, this is what it would show me, a grid of my photos. And on top, there is the word select. And that is the button that you have to click. Okay? Once you click on select, in each picture, there would be small boxes for each picture, because you have to click on that picture and it will show a check sign, which means that you have selected the picture. And below the grid of your pictures, you will have these choices. Are you going to send it or cut it or copy or delete? And since we do not see a function that says rename the file, then actually you click on more, because more functions can be found when you click on more. And when you do, okay, remember that I selected one picture in the previous slide, and that is the picture of the oats, a bowl of oats. So it says there, one selected. Okay. And if I scroll down on this particular panel, I'm gonna show you that in the next slide. So I will have options, and now the options are very clear. Rename the file, set as private, or view details. Definitely, because I want to rename the file, I'm gonna click on renaming the file for that one picture that I selected earlier. And so I have now the chance to type whatever file name I'd like to write for that particular photo. So if it's a requirement, if it's a picture that is required of a particular class, again, it's good to write there your course code, for example, Agric 27, and then your name, okay, and then your major or your section. If you don't remember your section code, then just add your major, because your professor would know where to put your submissions in what folder. And then what document are you submitting? This is a requirement for an assignment or a quiz, whatever, or a report, whatever. Basta write the file names properly. And that's it. Basically, that's how you do these things. Some very simple tips that I'm sharing with you. And I'm not sure if I'm doing a good job of explaining it, but I feel that such reminders or tips are very useful for students and both for professors, because life could be simpler if we just, do these simple things also. So I wish you all the best, and keep safe, everyone. Take care of yourself and take care of others.